We talked about many steps, or you can say the problems related to virtual machine to physical machine mapping. And in that, we have seen that first thing is the virtual machine configuration. After configuring the virtual machine, a user, uh, the task of the user will be finished. After that, the cloud service provider will look for the policy for the virtual machine placement, in which it will allocate the virtual machine to any physical machine. So it is classified as virtual machine initial placement and virtual machine reallocation. In the virtual machine initial placement, it will look for the configuration what initially has been done, and later time of the course, if user requires some more resources, or it will do some modification on that, then the virtual machine reallocation will be done. These two decisions will be taken based on some optimization, objective optimization, in which we have resource utilization, one objective. Second is the monetary cost, and the next is the energy efficiency. And then after that, we'll look for some application metrics and tools related to virtual machine to physical machine mapping. So the virtual machine configuration and placement. In the process of mapping virtual machine into physical machine involves the initial configuration phase that determine the characteristics of virtual machine, followed by a placement phase that attempt to place such virtual machine into physical machine in a cost efficient manner according to some optimization objectives. So depend upon some objectives, or to fulfill the objective uh, of the cloud requirement, the cloud service provider will take care of that objective, optimize that objective, and based on that, it will map the virtual machine with any physical machine which is available. Now let's see individually what do you mean by virtual machine configuration and what do you mean by virtual machine placement. Now the first thing is virtual machine configuration. Now as we know that what do you mean by configuration? Configuration means a user will reach to the cloud service provider by logging in their system, and then the user will decide that which type of machine or which type of virtual machine it required. Based on that, it will make the configurations, and then it will say to launch the instance, or it will say to launch my virtual machine. Now, after that only the placement will be taken place. So what happened in the configuration? In the configuration, during the virtual machine configuration phase, user may select the combination of resources that fit their application need. So whatever user applications are, let's say a user want to host their website, or user want to achieve some complex computation, or user want to do some more, let's say it want to use the virtual machine for a longer period of time for the software development. So it is just depend upon the need of the user, that what user want, and based on that only it will make the configuration. Who will? The user will make the configuration. The providers may offer, means the service providers, cloud service provider may offer virtual machine of predefined virtual machine type, like so in EC2, Amazon EC2, we have already seen like there are some pre-configured machine. We just have to click, we just have to select the operating system first, then we'll go and we'll select that type, which type of machine we want. Some of the types are free, some of the types are not at all free. We have seen we can make a huge amount of means we can we can have in our virtual machine a huge amount of resources if we require. So we can make a virtual machine as a high performance computing machine, and we have the access on it. But we have to pay for that, right? So cloud is, as you know, it is a pay as you go basis. Um, you have to be apply on the cloud. So it will be like that only all the time. Some providers will have the predefined virtual machine types with which virtual machine type characteristics by specific hardware characteristics. For example, Amazon EC2 offers different virtual type that can cope with different user needs. So that we have already seen that in the Amazon EC2, how a predefined virtual machine has been given. We just have to select those type which we require. Virtual machine configuration aims at assigning the proper amount of resources to avoid under and over provision. See, virtual machine configuration is aiming us to assigning the proper amount of resources which is required by the user. If the user requires 16 GB of memory, it will give 16 GB of memory, not less, not more. So if we have to avoid the under or over provision, then only it will be a good configuration. So what is over provision and what is under provision? Over provision of resources means providing more resources than required. It will result in a resource wastage and resource remaining idle. So definitely, if a user doesn't require additional 4 GB of memory, and in your configuration only 6 GB of memory is required, if a user is requiring 2 GB of memory and you are giving them 6 GB of memory. So 4 GB, if it is the user is not using it, so it is of underutilized. On the other hand, under provision, provisioning fewer resources than required. So if a user required 2 GB of memory and you are giving only 1 GB of memory, it is also not proper. It may result in performance degradation as application requirements are not satisfied. So let's say to host my website, I need let's say 2 GB of memory at least, and I'm not getting 2 GB of memory, I'm getting 1 GB of memory. So if let's say there are 100 hits and it cannot satisfy the requirement of 100 hits, so it is of no use, right? It means that indirectly it is causing the problem to the customer. So customer will never opt these type of services in future, and it will not tell his friend or his colleague to opt these type of resources in future. So that's why the cloud service provider need to take care about all those things at the time of virtual machine configuration. They have to make their GUI, their system, such a way it will be more uh, easier to use. Uh, More options should be given to the user. More flexibility should be given to the user. There should not be some rigid configuration. That all those things need to be taken care by the cloud service providers. Otherwise, the will not go to that provider who is not giving us the good services. So it is all depend upon the user feedback as well as how convenient you are making your website, how convenient you are making the orchestration process to create the virtual machine in the cloud. So this is the first step of virtual machine to physical machine mapping. After determining the specific virtual machine configuration that meet application resource need, the application of virtual machine to physical machine can take allocation of virtual machine to physical machine can take place in a way that meets the provider's optimization objective without compromising the application performance objective. So After that, after the configuration, the virtual machine can take place into the physical machine, and it will be taken care with the optimize the objective of the cloud service providers, as well as it will see that the application performance objective should also be satisfied. This allocation of virtual machine to physical machine include the virtual machine initial placement, allocates to action to allocate newly arrived virtual machine, but also virtual machine reallocation action to optimize the placement of existing virtual machine partially or as a whole and improve the current status of the resources. So as in the diagram, you can see that placement has two parts, initial placement and reallocation. In the initial placement, the placement of newly created or newly configured virtual machine will be placed, and in the reallocation, old configured or the old virtual machine will be assigned to the physical machine again. Now let's see the virtual machine placement, in which the first part will see which is virtual machine initial placement. Now, in the virtual machine initial placement, it refers to the mapping of virtual machine to the physical machine on host to serve the new request. The aim of this action is to allocate the application virtual machine to the physical machine efficiently according to the optimization objective. So we know that there are some objective that should be optimized, and the objectives are, we have just seen the objective also in this particular diagram. The first one is the resource utilization, second is the monetary cost, and the third one is the energy efficiency. So based on these objective, that objective should be optimized, and based on that only the uh, physical machine will be allocated to any virtual machine. The challenges that rises in virtual machine placement, in which virtual machine to allocate to which physical machine in order to achieve the targeted goal, that need to be taken care, and that in which way we are doing this particular allocation, that also a challenging task. The optimization problem of virtual machine placement can be formulated as an integer programming problem that is NP-hard problem. So as we can say that the optimization problem of virtual machine placement is an NP-hard problem. NP-hard problem means those problems which are completing their task in a it is not a polynomial time, generally in exponential time. So these algorithm, the optimization algorithm which is applied here for the virtual machine placement, generally it is the NP-hard problem. It means they are taking a lot of time to do that, to optimize it, to map it. That is a problem. Determine whether a feasible solution exists in an is a NP complete, as well as to find it out whether there are some solution exists for mapping from virtual machine to physical machine. It is also a NP complete problem. So both are the exponential problem as the NP hard, NP complete. There is a quite difference between these two, but the NP hard problem comes into the category of exponential problem, which has some non-deterministic part that maybe in future maybe it will be fulfilled, and we assume that it is doing its work in a polynomial time. So we are assuming that the exponential problem is doing its work in a polynomial time, but it is not known. That comes into the category of NP hard. But when we know that this exponential problem can work in a polynomial time, then it comes in the category of NP complete. So there is a separate, I think in the algorithm, you might have learned about NP complete and NP hard. Now, various packing algorithm we have which provide good result and require low execution time may also be used. Various application and system constraint may also be considered when making placement decisions. Now we have seen that initial placement is for the new request. What about the reallocation? The virtual machine reallocation involves the rescheduling or reshuffling of virtual machine to the physical machine to adjust mapping to the changes of resource needs and provide scalability and reliability. Such changes may be due to application termination, a surge of user request, user suspending the execution of their application at runtime, or varying application resources need over time. So what it says that there are some old configured virtual machine that may be used, that may be restarted. So to mapping it, we need the reallocation. Second, maybe the virtual machine, which is already there in one physical machine, there this physical machine may be overloaded. So we are shifting that particular virtual machine to another virtual machine. This is the second scenario. The third scenario may be the old virtual machine configuration will be reconfigured, maybe the scale up or maybe scale down. So at that particular time, changes has been occurred into the virtual machine. So again, we have to provide the virtual machine for the changed. We have to provide the physical machine to the changed virtual machine. That may also the case. So all these are the situation when we need the virtual machine reallocation. In such cases, reallocation actions are required to better utilize the resources. During such a reallocation, decision can be made proactively or reactively to improve the mapping of the virtual machine to the physical machine. So the decision may be in the category of proactive or reactive. Proactive means in the predefined manner, we know that the changes has been occurred and I am allocating the physical machine accordingly. Reactively means just now I realize in the go or dynamically or in the runtime I am realizing that there is some changes in the virtual machine and then I am reallocating it. So it happened when we have the concept of elasticity. So what happened? Let's say I am hosting my website and suddenly I find out that the hit to my website is more than what resources I have used. So the current resources may not be capable of fulfilling my request. Then what will happen? Then again reallocation will be done. Means scale up will be done. Some more RAM will be allocated. Some more memory will be allocated to you, some more CPU core will be allocated. That particular time, we need to reallocate the virtual machine into the physical machine. That is also the case where we have to work reactively. There are proactive means before mapping to physical machine, I know that the scale up or scale down has been done. That is called proactive. The question that arises in virtual machine reallocation is which virtual machine to select to which physical machine to allocate them. So that is the problem all the time, that which physical machine I'll select to fulfill the requirement of the virtual machine. An action also known as VM migration or virtual machine migration. So that particular the whole process of reallocation is also called virtual machine migration. Migration means in one place I am there, but in that place all my requirement are not fulfilled. So I'll go to another place where I can see that there is the chance of fulfilling my requirement. It's just like I'm in a place, but there is a problem of water. So what I'll do is I'll migrate to other place where my water problem will be solved. So that is the meaning of the migration. Here also, decision can be based on different optimization goals. So here we have to take care of different optimization algorithm, which will take care my requirement. Let's say my requirement is water, so I look for the water where in which place I'll get the convenient water. Let's say here in the virtual machine, let's say I required let's say another 8 GB of memory, but that physical machine where I am, it cannot fulfill my requirement. So what I'll do is I have to migrate the virtual machine to another physical machine which is having those resources available. So all those are called the balancing, the migration of virtual machine to physical machine. All those are different terms, but the gist, or you can see the the idea behind all those things are the same. Although reallocation action may improve the state of the system, VM migration or the virtual machine migration may lead to the system overhead and perform degradation of the migrated and uh, collected virtual machine. So what it is saying that is the migration, although it is increasing or improving the system performance. Let's say if I required that additional 4 GB and I am shifting my virtual machine to a physical machine which can overcome my or which can fulfill my requirement. But the process of migrating from one place or from one virtual machine to another virtual machine is a overhead, right? As the migration overhead may not be negligible, it is not negligible, right? So reallocation action can be selected so multiple or frequent migration are avoided. So we have to look for the reallocation policy or reallocation action in such a way so that we can reduce the frequent migration and we can avoid the frequent migration, because migration is a overhead. Overhead means it is a cost to the cloud service provider. In reality, the migration overhead need to be taken into account in the decision making. To do this, the time taken for migration can be modeled as a migration cost. So one migration cost will also be added when any user need the scale up or scale down. So one cost will be added in his bill. Virtual machine reallocation action also target at achieving load balancing among the host, reducing power consumption or improve application performance. The reallocation action also be achieved. See, when we are reallocating the virtual machine to another physical machine, we may achieving all those things. What we may balancing the load of the host. Maybe one physical machine is loaded with lots of virtual machine. So what we do is we migrate the virtual machine to another physical machine, which is underutilized or which is not being overloaded. In that way, what we are doing, we are balancing the load, we are reducing the power consumption, as well as we can improve the application performance. Now let's see what are the different conditions which may trigger virtual machine placement or virtual machine reallocation. Means what are the situation in which we have to do reallocation or we have to do placement. So the virtual machine reallocation action may improve the state of the system, but may also be computationally expensive procedure, right? It is an expensive procedure because see, migration is an expensive procedure, right? If I am somewhere if I am with my family, I am living for last 1 year for some rented home, let's say rented house, and after some time I am thinking that my requirement is not fulfilling here. Maybe my requirement is I need the room which is I need the house with more number of bedroom. I need the house in the second floor or the in the third floor, or maybe I need the room in the ground floor because of my elder parents, or my need is to find the place near to my institute. So it is depend upon my requirement or my objective to optimize. So based on that, I'll do reallocation. So what I'll do is I'll leave that particular rented house. I'll look for another rented house which can fulfill all my requirement, and I'll go there. So there is the shifting cost, right? It may be the physical cost, as you can see, or monetary cost, the money, maybe you can take it as a cost, or the time, that how much time I'm doing from reallocating from or the migrating from one place to another place. So I have to pack again, I have to unpack again, I have to put all my stuff into the place. It will take, I think, 1 month of time when any person will transfer from one state to another state or one place to another place. So it is a cost effective or expensive game or expensive goal, right? So here also it says that the reallocation action may improve the performance of the system of the host or the application which is loaded there, but it is an expensive procedure. Also, frequent migration need to be avoided. That we have to take care that we do not want the frequent migration. Let's say my requirement is 2 3, but I am shifting to another house by fulfilling only one requirement. So maybe I'll got the home in next 2 3 months, which is fulfilling my requirement. So I'm shifting there. So it is a frequent shifting, and I don't want the frequent shifting because it is again a costly. So it says that frequent migration need to be avoided, especially when the migration cost exceeds the gain from the new placement or when the performance of other running application is significantly affected. This raises the question of when it is good time to resist the mapping of virtual machine to physical machine. So we have to rethink that what is the time when we have to map, we have to do the mapping, means reallocation of virtual machine to physical machine. If this is happening often, then the cost may overweight the benefit. Yeah, definitely. The cost will be more than the benefit. On the other hand, the delayed response may lead to rejection of new requests during the peak period or an increase in cost from resource over provisioning. As a result, well thought of triggering mechanisms are required to resist the and optimize the current state of resources in a timely yet cost effective manner. Such triggering mechanisms or simply triggers can be event driven, periodic, or hybrid. So there are many categories. The trigger may be one of these. So what should be the situation when we have to do reallocation? So the first situation is event driven invocation. Event-driven trigger may relate to the arrival of new virtual machine request to resize existing virtual machine, or the termination of some virtual machine. So these may be the cases. When new virtual machine arrive, some action need to be taken to map virtual machine into physical machine. This action may involve only the new virtual machine or may also include a reassessment and possible reallocation of already running virtual machine. So there are many situations that can occur. So that is categorized into event driven. What is that? First is any new virtual machine has arrived, so we have to do placement. Second, the existing one may be resized, may be scaled up or scaled down, so we have to do mapping, or some virtual machine may be terminated, then that virtual machine has to be migrated to some other place. Second is the periodic invocation. Now, what happens in periodic? Scheduling action can also be invoked periodically using predefined scheduling interval. In that case, the controlled, typically controlling a scheduler is invoked periodically to determine the action to be taken in each scheduling round. So based on some scheduling, like let's assume that we have a scheduler which will which will be sleep for some period of time, and when it will invoke, it will see that is there any reallocation is required. If required, then it will do the reallocation, and again it will go to the sleep. So it is just like for, let's say, for whole 24-hour, the reallocation scheduler is sleeping, and every day at 9 a.m. it will wake up, or it will woke up, and it will see is there any reallocation required, then it will do the reallocation. So it is just a schedule. So there is a schedule, like at that particular schedule only will do the reallocation. Otherwise will not do the reallocation. So that is also a new thing in which we can do reallocation or the allocation of the resources. There is the advantages as well as the disadvantages also. Then there is a hybrid invocation policy. The combination of event-driven as well as the periodic invocation of scheduling action is also used in many studies, like separate events such as the new virtual machine arrive or virtual machine termination, triggering scheduling action like SLA violation are periodically detected. So these may be the situation where the hybrid invocation may be required. What is SLA? SLA is nothing but service level agreement. This is the service level. This is done at the time of configuration. So when a user will configure their virtual machine, it will also do the agreement with the provider. That agreement is called service level agreement, in which it will make sure that if I am giving the application or if I am giving the task, then I need these criteria in which you have to satisfy my requirement. So that is nothing but service level agreement. If the service level agreement violates, then also we have to look for the migration of the virtual machine to another physical machine. So that may be, let's say, if a service level agreement, one of the service level agreement with one user is, let's say it is that if I'll give the task, that task should be executed within 12 milliseconds. Okay. If because of the CPU or because of the less amount of CPU, I haven't executed the task which is given by the user within that particular completion time, then what will happen is a violation of service level agreement. So in that particular time, the virtual machine need to be upgraded with more CPU, and that will be done. This is also required or triggering the reallocation of the virtual machine. The scheduling action aim at reducing overall power consumption while meeting the SLA requirement of the application. So SLA requirement need to be fulfilled. If it is not fulfilling the requirement, then also it requires reallocation. In that triggering, we can add one more thing. Actually, there is the situation like threshold. Threshold means, let's say in one virtual machine, one physical machine has utilized its resources, let's say 90%. And I am putting 90% as the threshold. At that particular time, I have to migrate some of the virtual machine to other physical machine. In that is required when we do load balancing. And we'll see and we'll look for those physical machine whose value is below the threshold value. So threshold value may be any value. So here I am taking as a CPU utilization value. Okay. So let's say the CPU utilization is 90%, and I don't want to go beyond that. Because if I am using the CPU in that particular manner, maybe my system will crash and all the virtual machine which is there in the system may suffer. So I don't want these type of things. So I'll make the migration of some of the virtual machine to another physical machine which is underutilized. In that way, I am balancing the load. So that is also a situation in which we require the placement of the virtual machine or reallocation of the virtual machine. Then there are the optimization objectives. Based on that only we'll see that which physical machine is good for the virtual machine, right? This section categorize and describe the optimization objective of scheduling action, which typically attempt to optimize one or more system parameter. In practice, system and user goal may be often conflicting. Thus, considering a trade-off between different parameters may be the goal of many scheduling actions. Three key categories to describe optimization objective in virtual machine scheduling uh, become of interest. First one is the resource utilization. Second one is the monetary units, and the third one is the energy consumption. It is a broad objective. Let me tell you, resource utilization is broad objective. Monetary units is also objective to be fulfilled or to be optimized by the cloud service provider, as well as energy consumption need to be seen or need to be monitored all the time. So the first one is the resource utilization. So as you all know, resources are nothing but our computing resources. So increasing resource utilization is one of the main goal of the resource cloud provider. Means we have to utilize the resources, means the utilization of the resources will be maximum. Means will not put, if we have the resources and it is not utilized, means it is a waste of the resource, right? And resource wastage may lead to increased energy consumption and cost due to underload or underutilized host, but also profit loss due to reduction of the number of applications that can be accepted. Although optimizing resource utilization is a performance related problem, it may also be examined in relation to fairness as well. And we have to look not only the resource utilization, we have to look that how fairly we are making the decision, so that everything will be balanced. Here we have some way how we can utilize the resources. The first one is the host consolidation. Now what happened here is, in the host consolidation, the host means the virtual machine allocated in a physical machine. So physical machine act as a host. So the physical machine, one virtual machine may be, or one or more virtual machine will put into one physical machine and will utilize the resource of one physical machine fully. That is called host consolidation. Workload concentration. What happened in that? If the application required number of tasks or number of work, that work will be concentrated in one physical machine and will give all the work to one physical machine. Second may be the load balancing, workload balancing. Maybe the workload are so high to one physical machine to satisfy. So we give those those physical machine which is underutilized. This is about resource utilization. The second objective is monetary units. Cost-based or utility-driven approaches. Now, cost-based is affecting your revenue. Utility means the performance, how we are increasing the performance, right? Increasing the utility level means satisfactory level, or you can see the satisfactory of the customer, how we are fulfilling the requirement of the customer and how my customer is satisfied. That is also has to be taken care in monetary units. So the cost as well as the satisfactory level of the customer. So that's why it is cost driven as well as utility driven approach. Express the optimization problem in some monetary unit. Minimize the operation cost or maximize the profit and utility gain as goal from the provider perspective, while minimizing the application cost or meeting budget constraint are goal from the user's perspective. Economic or cost function are used to model the cost of a configuration and the total profit of the provider. The infrastructure cost, transition cost to model transition overhead, penalty cost from SLA violation, and or the revenue from the user are some of the factor incorporated in cost model. So we have to look for the cost, how much cost I am taking from the user, how much I am providing, how much I am getting in that way. Revenue may also account from resource outsourcing and insourcing, renting to other providers. Operating cost is all about how the overall operating cost will be taken care in terms of the resources I am giving, in terms of the manpower I am giving for maintaining the cloud. Maximization of providers' profit and utility, that is the point in the monetary unit. Next objective related to that is the energy consumption. Minimizing energy consumption has become the main challenge in cloud computing due to economic and environmental factors associated with increasing energy cost. Resource utilization, for example, CPU, disk storage, and network, and associated equipment such as cooling system are the main contributors to energy consumption and result in increased operation cost for the providers and carbon dioxide emissions that impact the environment. So all these are the factors that we have to look forward, like energy, how much energy it is the physical machines are consuming. If we'll provide the virtual machine to this physical machine, then how much energy consumption should be there, how much cooling system we have to install, how much CO2 it is emitting, what about the energy cost for the physical machine that I am running on, electricity cost, all those things. Minimization of active machinery, can we do that to minimize the machinery? Dynamic voltage and frequently scaling is a method. DVFS is the method in which how dynamic load will be managed. Thermal management, how much cooling system will be installed into the system, that is also comes under energy consumption. So all those are the different factors that need to be, or all those the objectives that need to be satisfied, that need to be optimized while looking for the physical machine placement in physical machine placement with some virtual machine.